Assalamualaikum to you all. Here we are back with another informative video tutorial. It is well said by Thomas H. Davenport that every company has big data in its future and every company will be in the data sciences. So it is basically the need of today's world and Python is the most helpful tool in this regard. Let's make it much easier and much fun. So here we begin. In this video, we will see how can we read the Excel file in Python and just do some simple manipulation in it. So firstly, let me show you the Excel file that we're going to use today in this video, and you can see that this is a file that we're going to use in this video. I just made a dummy file by using the name data, and it contains two sheets, record and movies. You can see here I just made this file for the video purpose. Let's move back to Jupyter. So first thing which we're gonna do today is to read the Excel file, and for reading the Excel file, the first and the main thing which we're gonna do is import Pandas library as PD. So let me first import Pandas as PD. Let me execute it. What we're gonna do next? The next thing which we're gonna do is to find the path that Python or Pandas can read. For this purpose, we just write wpd. And here it goes, C user a tag. What does it mean? It basically means that the file which Pandas will read will be in the local DC in the user folder, and inside the user folder it will be in the a tag. So just what you have to do is just copy the file from the location, from its current location Excel file, and just paste it in the a tag. So I've already done it. So the next which we're gonna do is we have to read this Excel file. So for this we will use the pd.read function. Let me first write it here, pd.read underscore Excel. I'm writing Excel here, but it depends upon the type of file that you are going to use. Like if you are using CSV file, you can write CSV here. Next, I just give the name of the file that I told you earlier is XLSX. So let me just run it, and here you can see that Python has successfully read our file. And one more thing that you have to notice is that it is considered the first row as a headers. And one more thing is that I have intentionally not given any name to one of the column, and it is considered it as unnamed 3, and it is third column and it is considered as unnamed 3 in the Python. So let's move ahead. Let's suppose you don't want to access information through the serial number, and you want to access the information through the first name. Like if you want the Philip information, you want to access it through his name. So what you're gonna do is you have to make this column as an index column instead of these indexes. Like serial number, you have to make this column, that is the first name, as an index. So we have to use that. So for this purpose, we just have to use one more parameter. Let me just copy and paste it here. So I'm just adding one more parameter, that is index call. Here it is, index call equals to. Now you can give your number, what column you want to make as index. I've given it 0, and you can see it has successfully read all the data, and it has made the first column as an index column. Why it is made the first column? Because I've wrote 0 there in the command, and in Python the first column name is always the 0, first row name is always 0, first column always start from the 0, row always starts from the 0. So I've just named it 0, and it is successfully made first column as an index column. Now what if you want to access only limited information and you don't want all of the data? Like you only want some of the columns of the data, you don't want all of the data. So what you have to do, you just have to add one more parameter in it. You just add one more argument. Let me just paste it over here, and the argument which I'm gonna use it is use call. Let me just run it. Use call equals to, I've just give the column names. Like I've given the name from A to C. It is because in Excel, if you see, the column is named as A, B, C. So that's why I've given the column name as A up to C. So let me just execute it, and here you can see it has given me the column which I want, like first column that is A, second column that is B, and here is the C column. So it is successfully execute our command and give us the first A to C column. So you can also done this, you can also access your information, you can also find your column by using the integers. Like, let me just copy it from here and paste it over there. Now by using the integer, what you want to use is you have just amend and make a little change in the command. You have to give your own integer, like what you want to access. Like let's suppose I want column number 0, column number 1 and column number 3. For this you just have to do is you have to use call equals to square bracket and write your column number which you want, like in the form of integers. So let me just execute it, and here it goes. Now you can see what I have done is I have just given the command and use call and use 0, 1 and 3, and it has given me 0, 1 and number. Third column, as you all know that I have not given any name to the third column, and it is third column unnamed 3. You can also access your information, you can also find your information by using a single integer. If you want only one column, let's suppose I only want column number 1, then I can also use a single integer. Let me first let's suppose it's column number 3, and so you can see it is given me just a column number 3. So it is very helpful tool. It helps to find information where you want. And moreover, one more thing that we're gonna use is the names command. If you want, it helps if you want to give the single column and name your custom name, like the name which you want. So you can do it by using the names command. Let me just paste it here. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna simply write the names. But one more thing that is more important is that you must have to amend and you have to delete the use call function, because if you use call function it will give an error. It is because we are not giving name to just column number 0, 1 and 3. But if you give use command, then it will only execute the 0, 1 and 3. It will work on just 3 columns, not all of the columns. So that's why I have just deducted it from here. And what I'm gonna do next is I've used the names command by writing names. And what names I have, it is basically the first name. Like you can give name of your own choice. Let me I do it first name, then it will be last name, then I'm gonna give the country, you can give the name of your own choices, what type of country, what type of name you want. You can give the name by your own choices, like a country name, like any other. Next is the date, and last but not the least is the ID. So let me just execute it, and here you can see that it has successfully named all the column according to our own choice, like what custom name which we have given to the column, it is successfully. And one more important thing that you have to notice is that we have also given the name to the column number 3, as previously I haven't given any name to the column number 3, so that I can show you that names command can work like this. Now column number 3 is basically the date, and I've given it the date name here, and so it is successfully changed into date. Now up till now we have the function which we have performed are from one sheet, but we can also work using the 2 sheets. Let's have a look on it. Let me just copy this part. Now suppose we let me just copy this part, and now suppose we want to give the sheet name as 0. So what we're gonna do is let me just go above and find the let me paste over here. And what we're gonna use is we have to just deduct this use call function and use the command sheet underscore name. And what we're going to use, we have to give any name to the sheet. For example, if I give name sheet name equals to 0, then what does it do? Let's see. It will give us the first sheet, like all the data of the first sheet. So I've given the name 0 and it gave me all the data of the first sheet. And let me do one more thing. Let me just find the second sheet. Just I'm doing over here. Let me just copy it. Let me just run it by using the sheet number 1. Now I've just changed the sheet name and you can see that it has given me the data of the second sheet, the second Excel sheet that we were using. So it has successfully did it. Moreover, one important thing which we can do is that we can also find the sheet by using the sheet name. Let me just copy it from here and paste it over here. And as I've told you earlier, showed you earlier that our sheet name is basically the record or the movie. So let me find the sheet using the record. So here I've just written it and let me edit, and you can see that it has also find all of the information, all of the data of the sheet using the record name. So let me move ahead and use another very important and very helpful command, that is skip rows command. Now let's suppose you don't want all of the information, like you don't want all of the rows. What you can do is you can skip certain rows in order so that you can compare 1 or 3 or 2 rows, like what type of row you want to compare. So you can use skip rows argument. For this we have to name again all the columns, otherwise it will be considered the above rows as header. Let me show you over here. Sheet name equals to 1 and let me 0. And the other thing which we're gonna do is we have to apply the skip rows function. Here I'm gonna write skip rows, and it is basically let we want to skip 0 and 1 row, and we want all of the rows. Then what we're gonna do is we write skip rows 0 and 1. Let me just execute it, and here although it is successfully skipped rows 0 and 1, it just given us the last 4 rows. But what is wrong in it? It is that it is given the header to the above row, like it is given header to the first row, but obviously we don't want this, it is not right. That's why we have to again give it the name. That is basically names equals to, as I've told you earlier, the command that we're going to use is we can give name of our own choice first, then it's this last. I'm just changing the name, so can I, like I'm not putting name in it so that I can show you that we can also how we can change the name and how we can give our own custom name to our one of the column, like first, last. Now I'm giving the country, then it will be date as I've given it earlier, and now the last one is the ID. So you can see here I've given my own custom name to the individual column and skip rows. Let me just execute it, and here you can see that it has successfully changed the header name of all the column and just give us the 4 rows that we want. Like we have skipped 0 and 1 row, so it is just given as the 4 rows. So here let me show you one more important thing, that we can also grab all this data into one particular variable which is of the data type and data frame object. So we will let me just copy some of the data from above. Just copy up to this time, this. Let me just copy it from here. paste it over here. What we wanna do next is we just close it and we give a data variable to it, like data equals to bd. Let me just execute it, and now you can see that we can grab all the information, all the data using this data word. Like if you want all the information of the data, you can just hit all the information of the Excel sheet, you can just write data.info and just run it, and we can get all of the information. Moreover, let me show you one more thing. Like you just want top 5 rows of your data. So like you just write the data dot another command and you can get all of the information. So that's all for today, and stay tuned with us for more of the very informative videos. Thank you.